Hello, friends. How you doing this morning? So, I watch several other YouTubers out there that are just gigantic, and one of them I watch frequently, besides Meet Kevin, is a gentleman named Graham Stephan. My understanding of his background is he lives in Southern California. He is a real estate agent, if not a broker. I think he's only an agent, but he may be a broker. Uh, but what he's done is he lives very frugally, right? So he plays good defense, lives below his means, and really puts out a lot of great YouTube content. But where this is going is he owns 6 rental properties, and for the longest time he self-managed. And recently he had a vacancy, and he just didn't have the time, right? He's very busy. He's doing amazing things, and he tried his hand at using a property manager. And he created a video called, basically, was it worth it, or are they worth it, or something like that. And it's only 5 or 6 minutes. If you haven't seen it, watch it. To net it out, there's a couple of things that I kind of take away. First and foremost, if you listen to it, he clearly points out that, they're saving him time, right? He was doing, $10, $15, $20 an hour jobs. When he was managing it himself, he was, doing lots of things. And he likes the fact that he has, someone else doing those activities, which frees his creative skills to do some of the impressive things he does elsewhere. In addition to that, he talks about creating a insulation or a, something between him and his tenants. He really likes that as well. So I would say that he normally, he gives it a thumbs up, and I think he indicates right near the end that he is, over time, as properties go vacant, he is going to, move more properties over to the property manager, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty interesting, though, when you actually listen to the video. As somebody who's only had property managers, I've never self-managed, so frankly, I don't have Graham's experience. But when he tells the story in this quick 5-minute video, you clearly hear he was on the doorstep of having 2 bad tenants, right? He talked about someone lying about where he worked, and then he found another one that was in urgency to move in. Turns out he was being evicted. But he lied on the application, had a friend give a glowing reference, and the property manager didn't find it. Right? It was Graham that found it. And I found it pretty interesting that he still gives the huge thumbs up to property management when, in essence, he saved himself. Because I think the story ends very differently if he moves in tenant 1 or tenant 2, who, maybe tenant 1 works out. You never know, right? There's always a story there. But tenant 2 probably was, at some point going to be another eviction. And I assume Southern California is like the Central Valley, and that would have been a 60-day process best case. And I certainly know Southern California properties are more expensive to repair, so who knows what would have happened. So I think that's pretty interesting. Where I'm taking this as of somebody who only has property managers is you need to investigate your property manager, right? All the things that Graham talks about as the outcome are absolutely true. You buy time, right? You allocate time. But again, remember who I was. I was a busy professional. It wasn't even an option, right? I was 2.5 hours away. I knew no one in the city. There was no chance that I was going to try to blow up my day trying to get contractors and plumbers and painters and gardeners and switch utilities and all of these things. So I had to have trust and faith. And frankly, that's why I fired the first 5 property managers I had. Right? I didn't know what I was doing, right? I didn't know how to kind of manage them and what to look for and things of that nature. So, I fully believe that property managers are worth it. Certainly, if you're following the one rental at a time story, you need to use and leverage property managers, because you're trying to create minutes a day or a week so you can look for deals. You don't have time for phone calls, right, on repairs or evictions or anything like that. So that's something to realize. But what you do need to realize is you need to interview the property manager. You need to do reference checks. You need to do backdoor references. You need to do all of these things. So The property manager can make or break you, right? In Graham's story, which he tells so eloquently, he's a master at all of these things. It is very clear that if he didn't do his double checking of the applications, that he would have been in a bad spot. And he deserves all the credit in the world for double checking the property manager. But realize he doesn't have a 9 to 5, at least a traditional 9 to 5. He is a real estate agent. I'm sure he's very busy. He does amazing things on YouTube. So I'm sure his day is busy, but it's not a 9 to 5 busy. And it was his skills that saved him. So take that for what it's worth, right? I believe my job is to vet the property manager and do that and get out of the way. And, unfortunately, I paid the price in the beginning. I had to fire the first 5, which was never fun. But those are the things that we need to start thinking about, right? If you're a full-time employee, you're investing out of state or certainly out of area, right? You can't walk or drive to all of your properties, in 10 minutes. If you're going to do this thing like I did, you need a property manager. So realize that one of your core tenets is to interview, qualify, double check, manage, fire property managers. So again, I appreciated what Graham had to say. I thought it was very well done. I have no idea how he does these so well. But I wanted to kind of give you my spin because the story is kind of the same, i.e. save time, create insulation between you and your tenants. But it's also important to realize that extra that Graham gave that saved his property. So in the end, if you don't know who Graham Stephan is, go check him out on YouTube. I think he's got like 500,000 subscribers or something, and he has been doing this a while. So go check him out. Take care. Bye.